I'd like to call the Florence City Council meeting to order. Please rise for a Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Counselor Van Houten.
Here.
Counselor Stiefel.
Here.
Counselor Mergelman.
Here.
Counselor Gardner.
Here.
Counselor Stone.
Here.
Counselor McKinnon.
Here.
Mayor Wolf.
Here. Item 3, public comments. Just want a reminder, try to be concise, keep it within that 3-minute limit. Kathy Madonna.
Kathy Madonna, 504 Brookway. I was at the workshop that you just had, so I wanted to comment on the ARPA funding. I think when you're determining how to use the funding, for me, anything for safety should be priority. And I appreciate the discussion about the dangerous trees now that we've identified where those trees are. I think it's critical that we get them taken care of, maintenance or taken down. So anything to do with safety and health of the citizens. The other thing would be sidewalks, streets. Some of the streets don't have sidewalks and falling into the potholes when I'm walking my dog. So anyway, my preference after that would be for the pool. I think the pool is critical for the kids in this area, the bathrooms, and anything that we can do on that. So, as far as the nonprofits go, I would ask that you get their budgets ahead of time and then match the budgets and their intended funding with the statements that you want to collect at the end of the year to make sure that the money's being used appropriately. I know the Humane Society is a little bit different, but I would really like to see their budgets and what they intend to do and how many dogs are they picking up, how many cats they're doing, and some kind of proof of that at the end of the year, not just what they're saying. So, thank you.
All right, thank you, Kathy. Gail Nelson.
Gail Nelson, 118 West 4th Street. I also wanted to speak to the ARPA workshop that you had. Would the street assessment include the alleys? I think it should, and I think Sam should be asked about the alleys. I know there was one point when Maury was saying that the alley behind there, was that ever fixed? It dropped about, 6 feet or something that really needs to be fixed. There are also a lot of ruts in the alleys, so I hate to see you take away the money for the alleys. I know behind James's dad's house there's a big rut, so they can be quite dangerous. So I hate to see the money taken away from that. I think you can check with Mike Vendetti on the monument, the Archuleta monument, and what their plans were for that. And there is a plan, and I've said this before, and we've got 2 people that used to go to the Planning Commission, and you all have seen the Husky Park design, and that was done with public input, a lot of public input, so you should look at that before you go back and do a completely different design for it. It can be updated because we've been waiting for money for that Husky Park since 2018, I think, so you don't have to start from scratch on that. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Gil. Harriet Stevenson.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here representing the Florence Community Senior Center, and you have received a request for closing Pikes Peak Street between Front Street and Railroad Street for celebrations that they will have. I've written a letter to you with our concerns about that. And that concerns pedestrian walkways for us as seniors to get back to the senior center during those times. I have met with Moretta Rose, who is from the brewery, and we have resolved this issue between us. She told me that she will keep a walkway through open for us through all of these celebrations, which we are really glad are in the community. So with that, I would ask you to make sure that in the permits that is a part of it, that a walkway would be there for us to get through the senior center or to the senior center. And that's it, sir. Thank you.
John Rambish.
My name is John Everett Rambish. I live at 1045 Churchill Avenue, Rockville. I had already talked to the mayor. You guys are looking into a little bit more extra time. So tonight, my redress of grievance would be to redress grievance about the amount of time that you allot. When you deal with significant crimes and criminal activity, that does need to be reported, not just to the police, not just to the courtroom, but to the community, because it may affect the community. A 3-minute window is inappropriate. It's inappropriate because I would have to give you a small amount here, wait a half a month, give you a small amount, wait a half a month, give you a small amount. Before I'm done, you're going to forget about the whole first part of it. Okay? People who come up here need to be able to redress grievances. That was given to us by the Constitution and the amendments to the Constitution. Okay? Now, I had talked to you earlier about sending a letter to the Office of the President of the United States. Okay, we had discussed that. The President made the courtrooms in Canyon City provide me ADA, Americans with Disability Act. I had to take the paperwork from the Office of the President down there. I had to wait 2 hours for the representative to come out to have me fill out ADA advocacy and self-help programs. She made me go back home. I was in Rockville. It takes 4 hours to walk to Canyon, 4 hours back. We made the appointment, and I came back, and it took 4 hours to walk back. We went in there, and she played games for 2 hours for 5 pieces of paper. She had to schedule another appointment. I had to walk all the way home, 4 hours, to walk all the way back, another 4 hours. She played more games for 2 hours. I had to make another appointment to walk 4 hours all the way back, 4 hours back to the courthouse for her to play games in which everything didn't actually get done, just to get rid of me. And then I had to walk 4 hours back. When you guys do the 3-minute, that's what it makes me feel like. That you're tearing into me to make certain that I do not get to express human rights crimes, crimes that affect you and other people. I need you to think about how significant the issues are and how important it is for you to hear them in regards to your time limit. Okay? My redress is your time limit today. Next time you come in, I will be coming for more redress of grievances, which is my right by the Constitution of the United States. That's the way you make me feel, that it is not important to you. Okay? I need things to be done appropriately in relevance to what is being brought to you. Now, you had already said you're going to look into it,
Yes.
and then I'll see you next time.
Okay. Thank you, John. Kevin Mamolji.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. My name is Kevin Mamalji, owner, managing editor of the Florence Reporter, P.O. Box 19, Florence, Colorado 81226. So I didn't have a chance to provide a year in review at the end of last year because I was so busy, so I kind of prepared that for you guys this evening. So just bear with me. I'm going to start with a quote from U.S. Supreme Court Justice Hugo Black, which essentially guides what I do at the newspaper. So, in his quote, "In the First Amendment, the Founding Fathers gave the free press the protection it must have to fulfill its essential role in our democracy. The press was to serve the governed, not the governors." That last part is significant, meaning that I'm not here to work for the government. I'm here to work for these guys, right? So, since convening more than 30 of Florence's finest citizens under the pavilion at Pioneer Park for the inaugural meeting of the Florence Reporter in August of 2022, the newspaper has worked tirelessly to earn the support of Florence and surrounding communities. By covering hyperlocal news, events, and other happenings, we provide a one-stop shop for all things Florence and are recognized by many as the de facto newspaper for our community. Starting with just a handful of subscribers in 2023, we quickly grew that to more than 245, of which includes more than 125 households here in Florence, and the remaining subscribers reside in Canyon City, Penrose, Westcliff, Rockville, Williamsburg, Coal Creek, Penrose, Pueblo West, Kansas City, Missouri, and Laramie, Wyoming. To date, I've published dozens of articles convening topics ranging from city council and the police department to water treatment, high school programs, and land use. I covered the issues that are important to our community. As a matter of fact, the front page of our very first print edition featured an article highlighting the students of our local FFA club. Since then, I worked with Florence Junior Senior High School to publish a special edition highlighting the graduating Huskies of 2023 and the Florence Howling Husky state champion performance last October. For that project, I spent more than 6 hours with the Huskies to capture behind-the-scenes footage of their state championship performance. Not to mention, I've published countless announcements, including honor roll, booster clubs, and more. Most recently, I was invited by Mrs. Weaver of Florence Junior Senior High School to educate the students about the importance of investigative journalism for a mock trial that was featured on the front page of our November issue. Within our first year as a publication, we organized the city's of Florence's only candidate forum and produced a candidate questionnaire and published a half dozen articles pertaining to the 2003 municipal election. Collectively, these efforts have garnered the attention of not just national media, but also the Colorado Media Project and Colorado News Collaborative, which consists of thought leaders from the news industry, including journalists, publishers, and others. This resulted in the Florence Reporter receiving a $5,000 grant made possible by the Gates Family Foundation and the Rose Community Foundation. That's it. I'll just go ahead and move this with you guys. And I printed out a copy for each of you guys that I can, so, yeah.
You want to hand that out now?
Yeah, sure. Oh, yeah, sure. Thanks, guys.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. All right, item 4, consent agenda. Consists of meeting minutes for February 20th, 2024. Expenditure approval for February 22nd, 2024 in the amount of $14,786.47. And the week, February 29th, in the amount of $22,312.09. Item C, modification of premises for the Florence Brewing Company. And D, street closure request, Florence Brewing Company. At this time, is there any item that council member would like to remove from the consent agenda?
I'd like to remove D. I'd like to remove item D.
Okay.
Street closure request.
All right, item D has been removed. Do I hear any other requests? All right, we will be voting on consent agenda items A, B, and C. Do I have a motion?
I
to
move
that
to approve the consent agenda as amended.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstain?
I abstain.
All right, next we have street closure request, Florence Brewing Company. Would this be city clerk?
Sure. Was there some questions on the street closure?
I just wanted to make sure that the senior request to keep an open pedestrian pathway is in the motion.
Absolutely. You can make that contingent upon with the already written motion. Yes.
Okay. Do I have to? Okay, I'll ask for. We're good?
All right, do we have a motion then to approve the street closure request with amendment?
Do I have to make that amendment?
Yeah, you have to make that motion.
I would like the amendment to make sure that there is a pass-through, a pedestrian pass-through for the senior or access to the senior center on each closure.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstain?
I abstain.
Motion passes. All right. New business. Ordinance number 1, 2024. An ordinance amending section 17.24.004 of the R2 Low Medium Density Residential Zone District of the Florence Code. Ashley?
Good evening. This is a housekeeping item pertaining to Title 17, Chapter 17.24.040. In 2017, ordinance number 0306-2017A changed the yard and bulk requirement table, which is also part of your packet. This change pertained to the minimum lot area for a lot and was adjusted from 7,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet for the R2 Low Medium Residential Zone District. However, the minimum lot area per principal structure listed in the same table was not addressed in order to potentially reflect the change that was made. In the same table, under minimum lot area per principal structure, 1 unit is considered a single-family dwelling, which at this time requires a lot to be 7,000 square feet or more. The difference in square footage requirements between the minimum lot area and minimum lot area per principal structure can be complex when discussing requirements for a single-family structure development, and some of the currently vacant or buildable R2 zone lots are 6,000 square feet. The Planning Commission held a public hearing on February 15th, 2024, at which time voted unanimously to approve and recommend to City Council the amendment of Section 17.24.040 of the R2 Low Medium Density Residential Zone District yard and bulk requirements, amending the minimum lot area per principal structure square footage for 1 unit by changing that requirement from 7,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet to match the change that happened in 2017. Does anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Ashley.
Huh?
Do we have any questions?
Okay.
All right, do we have a motion to approve ordinance number 1, 2024?
I'll make the motion to approve ordinance 1-2024, an ordinance amending section 17.24.040 of the R2 Low Medium Density Residential Zone District of Florence Municipal Code, and the changing of the quote medium lot area per principal structure unquote for 1 unit from 7,000 square feet to 5,000 square feet.
Point of order, just, she said medium lot area and it's minimum lot area. Okay. Minimum.
Mine says medium. Low medium, the first sentence.
Okay, okay. All right. Just wanted to find those minimum lot area. Okay.
I'll second that.
All right.
Oh, that's his yeah.
All right. All right, we have a motion. We have a second. Roll call, please.
Counselor McKinnon?
Yes.
Counselor Mergelman?
Yes.
Counselor Van Houten?
Yes.
Counselor Stiefel?
Yes.
Counselor Gardner?
Yes.
Counselor Stone,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. New item, new business item 5B, resolution number 4-2024, a resolution approving the assignment of interests and obligations described in the subdivision improvement agreement related to infrastructure improvements of High Meadows subdivision filing 4, Phase 4. Ashley?
This is also a housekeeping item. The city entered into an agreement for subdivision improvements for High Meadow subdivision filing for Phase 4 in May 2013. The current agreement is assigned to Florence Ventures LLC, whom are no longer the owners of the property. The current owner, Fire Tree Development Corporation, would like to have the subdivision improvement agreement assigned to Fire Tree Development Corporation. Section 15, amendments and assignments of the subdivision improvement agreement states this agreement may not be assigned by the developer without prior written consent of the city. Passage of this resolution fulfills the requirement of the written city consent necessary for completion of this assignment. Did anybody have any questions on that?
Okay. We have a motion to approve resolution number 4-2024.
I move to approve Resolution 4-2024, a resolution approving the assignment of interests and obligations described in the subdivision agreement. Excuse me, subdivision improvement agreement related to infrastructure improvements of High Meadow subdivision filing for Phase 4 to Fire Tree Development Corporation.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Counselor Stiefel,
Yes.
Counselor Stone,
Yes.
Counselor Van Houten,
Yes.
Counselor Mergelman,
Yes.
Counselor Gardner,
Yes.
Counselor McKinnon,
Yes.
Mayor Wolf.
Yes. Item 6, council updates.
And Mayor, can I jump in real?
Oh.
Just I missed it on 5A, but I don't know who discovered that error or needed the fix, but just wanted. That's a tricky one, so good job to whoever did that.
What's that on the minimum?
Well, yes, just the updating of the table compared to So well done.
All right, city council report. Rudel.
I attended Fremont Economical Development Council meeting again, and there is going to be, they haven't disclosed it in detail, but a company moving into the old drywall plant out here. For as many efforts, they say this one's for real. So that will help Florence a little bit, being in our backyard. Pioneer Committee meetings have kicked up, and I attended the Emerging Campus Open House the other night.
Thank you. Brenda?
Yes, I did a tour of the water treatment plant, and I want to thank Brendan Harris for such a wonderful tour and his knowledge. And it was just a fantastic tour. I didn't realize what it takes for us to get good, clean water. I just want to thank him again.
Thank you. Matt?
Also took a tour of the water plant, spent about 4 hours with Brandon and talking to some of his crew. Very fascinating what all goes into that plant and the work that those 6 individuals do. So they do a great job and hope they keep it up.
Tammy?
Yeah, I also got to tour the water treatment plant with Brandon Harris and his crew, and they are amazing.
James?
I attended the first water regional last month. Quite interesting. Hopefully I'll get more involved and learn more.
Thank you. Gail?
Also did water. In addition to water, the Preservation Commission met and they voted, I don't vote, they voted to accept one address that will be presented to council for designation. And there's a couple more in review, so that will be coming in the near future. Also, I have an update on our POW. So I hope I can get through it. If I can't, Tammy's going to finish. World War II and Korea are very special in my life. So we do have another individual, World War II, also from the Philippines, and the Bataan Death March that has recently been
identified. His remains are still in limbo. We have a Korean individual who remains at this time unfound. But we do have an update on Army Air Force Technician 5th grade Clifford Harley Strickland. Strickland was one of more than 75,000 prisoners of war who forcibly gathered and subjected to the savagely brutal 6-day, 65-mile trek to POW camps in the central part of the island that became known as the Bataan Death March. This is in the Philippines. Most men began the long walk in Marvelis at the tip of Bataan to the railhead at San Fernando. During the long, miserable journey, the Japanese committed numerous atrocities to their captives. It's quite a lengthy dissertation. I will not read it all. This past June, Army Air Force Captain Daniel Strickland, this coming June, Air Force Captain Daniel Strickland will fly to Hickam Air Force Base at Pearl Harbor and experience the honor of accompanying his uncle's remains home to Colorado for a full military funeral befitting the American hero he is. On June 28, 2024, a welcome home ceremony will be held to honor Strickland's arrival. The public will be invited. The time and place for this celebration of life is yet to be determined. Then on June 29, 2024, nearly 82 years to the day of this tragic passing, Technician 5th grade Strickland will be laid to eternal rest in a ceremony for family, friends, and dignitaries at Union Highland Cemetery in Florence, where he grew up. Jim Sheridan is the Department Chief of Staff, District 2 Commander at VFW Post in Penrose. Jim is the contact for us. So any and all updates will go through Jim. Thank you.
Thank you, Gail. Mayor's report. Also attended the regional water board meeting. Brandon advised that the bar screen will be installed in the very near future. And it's good timing because once you get runoff going and you get lots of stuff in the system, that's what keeps it out and allows the process to go smoothly. They also have been working with communication issues. We do a lot of radio transmission from one high point to another high point, sometimes miles apart, and they've been working on those communications to make sure the plants work well. I've been attending some of the Wednesday morning coffee at the senior center. I've been enjoying that, some answering questions. I was so glad 2 times ago Harriet brought up about the request for having a walkthrough with the brewery. And I know I think I just suggested go look at what conflicts you have on events. And I walked in the other day and she goes, "We've talked, we've solved the issue. We're going to have a walkway through there." And I always say the best way to work things out is just to go talk to people, look at people eye to eye. This last Friday, I participated in the Dr. Seuss event at the library on Friday, reading to the kids. The readers included myself, my wife Debbie. We did Cat in the Hat. County Commissioner Debbie Bell did Red Fish, Blue Fish, One Fish, Two Fish. John Clark did Green Eggs and Ham. And City Manager Amy Nesta did Oh, the Places You'll Go. And it was good. You know, we always hoped that there'd be a bigger crowd of kids. But a big thanks to the library and the staff and the board there for all they do, for all they provide. You know, I go in there and there are kids in there and there are always adults in there because not everybody has access to the internet. That's where some people get it. So kudos to the John C. Fremont Library and their staff there. Continue to meet with citizens about a variety of issues. Either stop me when I'm walking or riding, or give me a call or shoot me an email. And every time I do, I forward that to the appropriate person, and everything's being handled. I attended the public discussion about the street closure on Saturday more as a citizen and a mayor liaison. One, I wanted to get to know more of the merchants from downtown and just get a feel for things. And it was productive, and got to thank Joan and the Chamber and the Merchants Group for all the work they've put in so far for Junktique and the car show. You know, it's a lot of volunteer work, and we really, really appreciate what they do, and looking for some really good events in May. Okay, City Manager.
Did you have any questions on my report? As I said in there, things that you'll be seeing pretty soon. You're going to start seeing some of the holistic code revisions. So code was put into electronic form a few years ago. Now we're just going to try and tighten it up and make it read a little more holistically, get rid of redundancies, outdated information. That's going to be a very, very long, involved, and ongoing process, but we'll start kind of doing it title by title, chapter by chapter. So you'll start seeing those within the next few meetings probably. And also start seeing some of the fee updates and fee revisions, which we also are going to look at more holistically, put together in a really user-friendly document on the website so that everyone can see them ahead of time, and also link some additional resources to that. So got a lot of different things going on here in City Hall and outside, but those are two big things that'll be coming to council in the near future.
Okay, thank you. City Attorney?
Not a whole lot, a little bit of probably reiteration, but just monitoring the legislature and any bills that may eventually impact us if and when they get passed. So that's about all I've got.
Okay. All right. Sam, anything big from Public Works? Okay. No tearing up Pikes Peak or anything yet? Okay, not yet, he says. Okay. All right. Any other reports? Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second? We have a second. All in favor? Say aye. Any opposed? Any abstained? All right, meeting adjourned at 7:03. Oh, I forgot to talk about this. I'll talk about this at the, no, but I'll meet with everybody. We have a 4th of July meeting on Wednesday, and so I'm gonna give them the news that we're gonna try to work with these, and that'll be good.
This Wednesday?
Yeah.
Thank you. You don't even have time to read.
Really?
Yeah, in fact, Wednesday I'm gonna go there and have a phone call with him. Wednesday, like 1 or 2 o'clock, and we're gonna try to set a date.
Oh, that would be nice.
So, yeah, I don't think I brought my deal with me, but it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good.
One of my favorite football players.
Yeah.